Datto's new Rising versus D2 vid looks interesting. Yeah, we could do this first. Hold on.
This was shot in front of a live studio audience at twitch.tv/Sweatcicle.
Let's see. Why is mobile Destiny better than Destiny 2 at so many things?
Destiny Rising a little bit in an earlier video, but I wanted to dedicate a full video to it because I was enjoying playing and grinding the game more than Destiny 2 in September.
Yep.
Well, I was until I decided to take a little bit of a breather from all things Destiny.
Yep.
This video is not really,
I say that as I'm reacting to Destiny, but,
this is why you should play Destiny Rising kind of video, though. Rather, I want to talk about some things that I think Bungie could learn from Destiny Rising, or that Rising is doing better than Destiny 2. Rising has felt so much more like an MMO type game than I feel like Destiny almost ever has. It feels so much more social than anything Destiny 2 has done, which is surprising considering how much Bungie,
at least in a long time, I wouldn't say always,
playing with your friends home,
but
at least how much they used to. For example, clan support. Throughout the entirety of the Destiny franchise, clan support in-game has been near nothing. We had those flag staffs, although they were discontinued in like season 19.
I forgot those were even a thing.
In-game bonuses for being in a clan once you hit certain levels. Bonuses like, yeah, exactly. You can't name a single thing because no one hovers over that square in the character menu anymore.
It's because the bonuses don't actually do anything for you. They're engrams that you would pick up just to delete because it would create a ping on top of Hawthorne's head that would be annoying for some people. It's literally just to waste your time, almost. I legit forgot that you could like change clan staff and all that stuff. Most people are just in a clan. Why are most people in a clan? So they can, if they win worlds first, they're all under one clan title. That's like the only thing I can think of.
It has been completely bare bones for the entirety of its life. No in-game search function to even look for a clan. I've been clueless as to how to even answer the question of how do I find a clan in Destiny for years now. My clan, Math Class, has become a place for friends of friends who become refugees after their clans have broken up or became inactive. I have not had to find a clan in years, but World of Warcraft had better things in place for finding a guild back in 2006. And I know that because I used those sources to find a new guild in 2000.
The one thing I will say that's kind of annoying is like, a while ago when people actually wanted to join a community clan, we had to create like over 15 different ones because the clans can only hold 100 people. And I had to have people in chat make them because I'm not allowed to be in a clan and create another one. Like, I can understand maybe why they would do that, but it's like, having a cap of 100 people is, it just doesn't really make any sense.
2006. Hey buddy, why don't you try something new, like eating actual food instead of that 6th bag of chips this week?
Is this a factor ad?
By Cook Unity. Cook
Oh,
Unity makes
I was close.
Food really good like, and they bring to your place for big convenient.
This microphone is something. Where did he get this mic, bro? This mic is massive. But I see my boy Datto's on the green screen meta. He gets it, bro. He gets it. You know what? We'll watch the ad. We'll watch the ad.
Recipes all the time, and then they have actual people make the food. They got a lot of dietary options like vegan and keto and paleo and other stuff. I still don't know what any of it actually means, but they got them. And as someone who has been eating really healthy recently, God, I miss chips. I mean, Cook Unity has helped me stay on course. Stuff like the Peruvian chicken fried rice by Chef Andres Mendez and the oven roasted pork chop with potatoes by Chef
That first one
Kevin
did not look
Egan
good.
have been staples for my healthy eating recently, although my wife's recent K-pop obsession has led her to the classic beef bibimbap by Chef Esther Choi that she ate before I could record the video. I said that I wanted to record the video for the... So if you want to try something a little different, head on over to cookunity.com/Datto50 or hit the link in the description to get 50% off your first order of Cook Unity, and be sure to use code Datto50 as well. That's cookunity.com/Datto50, code Datto50 to get your first
I heard it
meals
for 6
for
times.
50% off. Thank you very much to Cook Unity for sponsoring this video. Cut to Rising.
That's a pretty good ad.
Nothing I'm going to say is really revolutionary in terms of the content for the clan system in Rising, but at least it exists. Every clan gets their own space to hang out in called a wolf den. And
Wait, you can modify this space like that?
Materials that you collect when you interact with the pack hunt menu.
I didn't even know you could do
Pack hunts
this.
aren't anything really that crazy either. You simply find a space on the map that has an objective, and you click it, and you spend an action point, and it'll automatically complete that activity after a few minutes. Although there are some objectives that send you on
now, and there is a lot of negativity around the game. But thank you for still being here and bringing us content to enjoy.
I'm trying.
Even if Destiny disappears tomorrow, we'll all still be here to support you. Much love, Sweat.
Hey, core community, we appreciate you. It's, yeah, times are tough in the Destiny verse, bro.
an actual mission in-game, and there are some missions that require multiple people
Thanks for the
in
3
order
months,
to participate. Those of you who remember Episode 2's weird, like, 1 minute, what were they called? Minor fieldwork? Something? It's basically that as a combat mission. Nothing crazy. You can also apply to clans in-game with different ranks available to micromanage, again, in-game. There's also a maintenance system in the game where the higher your rank, the more resources you need to sustain said rank, so there is a reason to participate with the clan stuff. Don't worry, I can hear you screaming at the monitor that Destiny players would hate something like that in order to maintain their rank. I'm not saying Bungie needs to copy that part in particular, even if most of the materials come from objectives like play the game, claim a bounty, or like other stuff you're already doing.
It could definitely
Like,
be
spaces in
improved a
your
little bit,
clan
but it's a mobile game,
increase
so
as your rank increases. But I'm not
it
sure
makes
if they
more
can ever
sense for this
decrease.
game.
Like, imagine having 45 spots in your clan, and then your clan D-ranks, and like 5 people get booted randomly. That would be super annoying. So I don't actually know
really
if that happens,
funny.
but I hope it doesn't. Again, pretty bare bones stuff here. I'm not completely blown away or anything, but considering what it is, which is a mobile game where a lot of stuff is deliberately scaled back in order for it to be completed in a few minutes, and or is designed to be pretty simple in nature, it's a hell of a lot more than Bungie has ever attempted for clans. And yeah, they are bare bones things, but they do ultimately still matter for some amount of gameplay. Even Rising's public event style things on destinations matter. They can drop exotic weapon mods. I've never been super high on things like player housing or clan housing or anything like that. But again, for how social Bungie wants the game to be, I don't know why clans have never been iterated on in the slightest. I don't know how much Bungie really calls Destiny an MMO anymore, but they...
This goes exactly to my point that they're basically all talk nowadays. Oh, we want it to be a social game. Okay, what have you done to make it a social game? Yeah, we introduced the portal where basically the only way you're progressing in the game is by playing by yourself. Wow, great start, guys. Good job. Great overhaul.
They've appeared to be incredibly afraid of even approaching anything in the realm of social MMO features outside of Fireteam Finder, which technically already existed, just in a more crude state. They also have other things to play with.
This card game is kind of sick.
I'm not going to say the card game is terribly complex. I'm not going to say fishing is the most insane gameplay of all time.
It's complex, but it's actually a really well-designed card game. I will say. I haven't gotten like super deep into the end game but what I've played, probably around 5 to 10 hours of it, somewhere in that range. Like, it's actually a lot of fun.
is terribly complex. I'm not going to say fishing is the most insane gameplay of all time, and I'm not going to say sparrow racing is amazing. I could not care less about
the sparrow racing is
but
awful.
they all exist in this game, and their existence makes the game feel bigger than it might actually be.
Yep.
They make the
I would agree.
MMO experience feel more complete and social. Look at like Mahjong in Final Fantasy XIV, or the plethora of non-gear progression things in World of Warcraft. What is Destiny's equivalent? Team Scorched? Iron Banner? What is there that could be considered an equal? I also want to say, I don't think the inclusion of any of this at this moment in time would be a game changer. There are definitely more pressing matters to attend to, and I don't think much of this would help solve those problems. But in the long term, more clan support.
It would have been great to add it to the game while the game was actually thriving. That does not mean you need to add it when the game's dead, because if you add it when the game's dead, then it's not going to do anything. These are supplemental things that, like, would make the game better if you already had a good amount to do. But the problem is we don't have a good amount to do. We don't have anything to do, really.
Systems would help the social experience quite a lot. One of the top level comments I've seen over the years.
I don't know anything about the Warframe clan system.
I don't know how to find another. I don't have a clan anymore. Wish my clan still played. Wish this, wish that. Clan. If it were easier for people to stay a bit more connected, if there are more social elements, perhaps more people would want to stick to the game with their friends or find...
How did I miss a spot while shaving again, dude? I do this every time, man. How? How does this happen?
There is a mode called Calamity Ops, and the objective is to score the most points and or do a thing as fast as possible.
Jack, give me 10
predetermined levels of difficulty. Now, in Rising, the biggest barrier in this mode and your ability to rank up is your level. You can only climb so high before your power level gets in the way of the experience. My level right now, my highest character is like, I want to say 57,000 something, but my Calamity Ops demands, I don't know, like 59.
Pause, I'm still listening.
The more leveled you are, the worse you're
I can still hear him.
What I'm trying to say. Power very much matters when it comes to your ability to perform in the game. Your damage, your survivability, everything.
Yeah,
it technically does
like it
in
should.
Destiny as well, but to a much higher degree in Rising. Calamity Ops works like this. You start the strike, your score multiplier is at its maximum, and after X amount of time, it starts to drop, and then it'll keep dropping and dropping and dropping until you finish the strike. So the faster you go, the more points you can get from the multiplier. Back in the Destiny 1 days, there was a website that kept track of certain stats in strikes, and they had their own ranking system that people could compete in. Very similar thing. You know, get a lot of kills, get a bunch of score, get your medals, do it fast.
What website was this?
And for a few weeks, a couple of my friends and I would compete on these leaderboards, probably competing against a very few amount of people, but we would compete trying to improve our speed, our scores, medal counts, etc. And I remember having a lot of fun doing it. I still bring it up every once in a while, and it's been like 8 or 9 years since I've done it. To this day, the closest we have come to this is Guardian Games, which is a couple of weeks out of the year, where in order to place in the top 10% of the game's population, you basically just need to play the activity and actually pay attention.
Yep.
I still think a competitive PvE mode could be a fun thing to have in the game. Yes, Trials has had its fair share of issues, but at least
Yeah, it would be great in a perfect world, but you're also, the company has shifted from being inclusive to hardcore players to everybody's a winner, and we have to get anybody and everybody playing our game as much as possible. So if we have, if we even have one activity that doesn't feel inclusive to Johnny Boy 552, and he can't get the loot because he has to actually invest 2 hours into the game, then the Twitlongers are going to be flying, bro.
Trials and competitive PvP are just that, some level of competitive. There is no competitive PvE in the game besides the world's first race. And that is
why does the company treat competition as such a bad thing? I don't understand it. They hate competitive, even though their game would be built for competitive in some regards. Let's not talk about PvP because PvP is a shithole, but like, why does Bungie hate competitive so much? Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I could totally see Bungie saying, well, because we added this, we have to take away from that. Well, at this point, definitely. Like I said, I don't wish for this, but we're at a point where the game is not performing well, and this might be worse than their 45, the notorious 45% under quarterly expected earnings moment. I think the quarterlies are going to be so bad that another round of Bungie layoffs are coming. I don't I don't know if those people will be absorbed into Sony and still allowed to work at Destiny or on Destiny or what the deal will be, but I think it's inevitable with how bad things have been for months now because they can't continue to employ all these people if the game isn't making money. It's just basic business. Because they play PvP less than they play PvE, which they don't play in the first place. I don't know. I just think Destiny could have such a thriving competitive scene, both in the mobile game and in the real game. But they've always had like some weird hate boner towards competition for whatever reason. Like, I don't know. I've always wanted to do some large scale like PvE tournament, but the other thing is like they have some weird law with their game where you can't host a competition where the prize pool is over $10,000. And I thought that was just like an ego thing where like, oh, only we're allowed to have a big prize pool for our game, but they don't even do. Has Bungie ever done any sort of actual prize pool for their game? Like, oh, this is the Destiny World Series 2025 where the winner gets $100,000, you know? I don't think they've done anything that was a cash prize. But I think actually recently they lowered it to $5,000 if I'm not mistaken. So it's like, granted, $5,000 is still a lot of money, but when people look at like esports tournaments, they're not gonna invest months and months and months of their life just to win $5,000. You know, like they could just go play another game and make more. You know, go play Fortnite and you can make 5K off your creator code. You know, the only thing that Modern did was the Gambit thing. Well, no, that was in collaboration with Rockstar, because that was when the notorious the Boss Man thing happened. Because I lived with Modern at that time, where Modern was grinding so hard that he beat out two people grinding an account 24/7. It was literally a 1v2. I'm surprised it's not 7777. I don't understand it. It's like it just feels suppressive towards like competition, and competition inspires like other people to get better at the game. So whether it's Gambit, PvE, or PvP, like there's different avenues that they could have taken, but it's almost too far gone at this point. They would have to do it alongside a new game. I'm surprised they don't have some type of creator code for silver purchases. I bite my lip sometimes.
Well beyond the scope of what I'm hoping to see. You can do weekly,
I bite my lip.
monthly, seasonal
Maybe one day you'll
rewards.
learn the truth.
You can rotate the modifiers around every so often. You're essentially making conquests into competitive conquests, or like as we used to know them, Grandmaster Nightfalls, right? You could have different difficulty levels too, like -10, -20, 30, 40 levels, whatever. I put out a video over 10 years ago asking for competitive PvE and leaderboards.
I missed
Rising
another
has
spot
it
while
at
shaving.
launch.
I'm sorry.
Destiny 2 has barely toyed with the concept. The leaderboard stuff specifically, it feels like there are leaderboards for everything in Rising. Clan, friends, server. There are leaderboards to tell you where you're ranked within your region.
Whoa,
the USA
whoa.
has statewide
Leaderboards?
rankings.
Let's not be
like they'll tell
crazy.
you you're ranked number 87 in Michigan or whatever. Do I think a good amount of these would get cheated due to how much cheating still apparently happens in Destiny 2? Yeah, probably.
Partially,
but, like,
Star. Partially.
I would still like to know how I rank in like stuff. That's a fun motivator. At least for me it is. Reward structure would likely need to be somewhat cosmetic in nature, I guess, but like
I just think I guess with that, without saying too much, there's a lot of things that, like, one day I think people will learn that there was a lot of stuff planned for the game that got scrapped for no reason. And I'll leave it at that. Let your imagination run wild. But if I feel like if the community knew the extent of all that stuff that could have happened slash was semi planned to happen, they would be so angry right now. They would be so mad.
Good luck with that. Although getting loot that progresses your power level would be a welcome sight as well. Giving loot that corresponds to like the difficulty level of the version that you picked. Not really the main point though. Like I'm not really too concerned about that. And yeah, again, not something the game really needs right now, especially for the crowd that I imagine would participate with it. But it's still something that whenever we get to a more comfortable space, I would like to see experimented with at some point. Next up, ping system. Need the ping system. Need it. I'm guessing this is more of a technology and or engineering based issue.
Bro, I don't give a shit. If it's a technology issue, that's their own fault, bro. It's 2025, man. A ping system in Destiny would be so nice. Especially when you're like, let's just say you're playing in a LFG situation where you're using the in-game Fireteam Finder and you have no comms with the people you're playing with. Being able to just click the middle of your mouse and ping things, it actually goes a long way. It really does. And it's just a small quality of life thing that would add up in the pile.
Than a Bungie not wanting to do it issue, but ping system. Need it. If there is a community of gamers that would
That's basically, you're right. That is what basically a lot of people use trace rifles for now. It's like you'll see people like shooting stuff with trace rifles. That is the ping system in the game, bro.
Benefit from a ping system in a shooter. This is that community. There is a raid boss in Rising where you're shown an image of a boss's weak point and you need to ping it for your team so that they can see it. Ping system. Next is just numbers and information. Rising tells you so much information. It probably borders on too much information, as there are a lot of different stats available to you in the game.
So this is the thing, bro. The Rising blows Destiny out of the water with this. Destiny, like, we get new perks, and like you have to go into an external database to really understand how the numbers work. Why? After how many years we can't just upfront tell you like the percentages of things and stuff like that? I don't understand it. That is the one thing I absolutely love about the weapon system in this game is it tells you everything. Every percentage, how it stacks, how the perk upgrades work. It's fantastic. This is how Destiny should be.
Thanks to how their artifact system works. But even regular perks on weapons are going to tell you 30% this, 60% that, 25% this, scales up to 40% that. You hover over the perk, it tells you what it does. It tells you percentages, it tells you the numbers, it tells you the information. We have gone so long in Destiny 2 with just vagaries of perk descriptions, boost damage, increase reload speed. And I get it, for some people that's enough. But I really don't think the world would break if...
See, it's enough because Destiny's a hard game where you do not have to fully maximize your damage to complete any activity in the game. You can literally complete any activity in Destiny by basically half-assing it with your loadout. That's why not having all the information on your perks doesn't necessarily matter right now. But if Destiny in a perfect world was actually a game where you actually had to use some brain cells to complete a puzzle, aka output a certain amount of damage to complete an activity for a rare item, you would want all these numbers. So you could put the puzzle pieces together and make a perfect build for what you have.
Bait and Switch said it was a 30% damage increase versus a damage increase. This whole, like,
Yep.
"Oh, we just want you to use whatever feels good" philosophy that Bungie had a while ago was fine when the game was as simple as it was back then. We are several iterations of combat deep into Destiny 2.
I mean, I would almost argue that, like, we haven't gone in the direction where it's more complex. It's like dumbed down even more.
And some amount of information at this point, I don't think is unreasonable. It would be nice to have. Even if it was like a toggle in your menu, like basic tooltips versus advanced tooltips. Half the enhanced perks in the game barely say anything at all, and we're now in a world where the majority of weapons that drop have enhanced perks.
Yep.
Rising also has 3 tiers of perks, like blue, purple, orange. So imagine normal perks, and then enhanced perks, and then, like, I don't know, super enhanced perks.
God,
it's all
perks.
RNG to get those drops, and based on the response to the lack of crafting, I don't think D2 is ready for a third rarity of perk just yet.
It's not worth putting in D2. It needs to go in a new game. Any effort, so basically any effort at this point put into, like, if they were to, like, put a new perk rarity, if they were to put a new, like, drop rarity above an exotic, call it, again, like, just for the sake of example, like a, I don't know, like a mythic weapon or something, I don't know. Big things like that, it's just, there's almost no use in putting it in the game now because of all the retroactive shit you would have to do for old activities. Because if you put it in just the new stuff in, like, the next expansion, sure, it gives you an incentive to play that stuff, but it gives you less incentive to play the 7 years worth of content that already exists. Which is, again, feeds back into the philosophy that I've annoyed you guys enough with already over the past however many years, that it's an impossible task to continue to try and refresh all these loot tables for 6-7 years of Destiny that already exists. It is impossible, and the only solution is moving to a new game. It's unsustainable. Did I see Glad's reply to the Bungie guy that said fans aren't willing to wait 5-6 years for D3? I don't think that was a Bungie guy, was it? I know who you're talking about. There's some guy who, like, claims to be, like, a game dev expert or whatever. Yeah, we could look at that after this if you want to link it.
There are just a
We're
few
almost
things
done.
that I think Rising does very well over Destiny 2. I realize that Rising does have the luxury of not only being a new game, but also potentially learning some lessons that Bungie or other games have already learned for them. But there are things here that I seriously question as to why they do not exist in Destiny 2. If you have been playing any Destiny Rising, I am interested in your thoughts. What other
Destiny
things
Rising
does
is a
Rising
really
do better
good
than
game.
Destiny 2? What
I'll
about the other
say
way
you
around?
can call me sellout, you
Maybe
can call me
what does it
whatever
do
you want.
worse?
It's not even a hashtag ad. I wish it was.
Genuinely, I'm interested. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.
Destiny
Talking
Rising
about Destiny Rising.
is, like, almost double. Well, I don't even know if you can quantify it. Maybe I retract that. Like, it's just more interesting than Destiny 2 is right now. That's just a fact. All right. That's a pretty decent react. Datto had some good points. Well, that's a great place to cut the video. YouTube, if you enjoyed these reactions, make sure to subscribe and come check us out on Twitch. Biggest forehead on the website. Thanks. All right. Great reaction. Fantastic.